All right, AnneMarie, what's going on?
Good to see you, Chris.
I'm so excited that you're on the show. We've
you.
talked about it, and you're somewhat of a unicorn here, but we're going to talk about more of that in a second. I just want to say thank you for tuning in. This is Mortgage Matters with the Gali Llama. I changed out my name into the Gali Llama, so it's kind of
nice.
Fun little pen name for now. And we like to bring on guests like you that are, community leaders. You've been here since you were born, which is awesome,
Life. Yeah.
right? And you were one of the lucky ones because, I share this with a lot of people. I moved to Clearwater when I was in high school for 1 year, and it never left me. And it just took me a long time to make it permanent again. So I get that part of it. And you've seen a lot, which we're going to discuss a lot about that, not just business. And if you're watching this, we want to, and you have an idea or you're a business leader in the area and you have something to share, please message me, reach out to me because I'd love to have them on as a guest. Like you're on this today and you're going to run us through a whole bunch of different things because, guys, AnneMarie is the Dirt Diva and she does so much more than just run the bank as business development. You do everything. I mean, you work with nonprofits. We're in a networking group together where you were probably one of the earlier people in it. I think by year 2 you came on, which we were still in the infancy stages and watching it grow and explode, and you're having a big part of that. So the first part that I want to talk about with you is Arcadia through the years, because you were about, 45 minutes east of here?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
About 45 minutes. And a couple cool things about Arcadia is you guys have one of the best rodeos in the state of Florida in Arcadia,
The
right?
granddaddy of them all.
And I still haven't been, and I swear I'm going. You're going to remind me, I think it's October. We had just
October,
talked about it,
yes.
right?
Yeah, the next one's October.
We have to go. We have to do like a trip to, it's not many places where you can see like the real deal rodeos.
It is, and they have a state-of-the-art arena now. When I was growing up, it was a very different arena. It was a very different arena. That does no longer exist. It got
took
destroyed.
it down?
It got destroyed. But
Okay.
But it's a staple. And there's a lot of things that I saw over there just growing up that I miss and.
Memories, I'm sure. So walk us through a little bit about how it was like growing up in Arcadia and then when, bring me from that start, like school, because you and your husband were high school sweethearts.
No.
Well,
not exactly.
Well, you weren't at first. I know the story, but you caught up. What was it? Right after high school, you caught up.
Just after high school, yeah. After I was out of high school, yeah.
So you kind of have like that fairy tale story in a sense. I'm sure it's everything's never always just fairy tales, but I love that story. That you knew each other all through school. You married. You have kids. And you have furry kids too. So you have 2 sets of kids, human kids,
and for grandbabies.
And fur grandbabies.
For grandbabies. They're the only grandbabies I better have for a while. But for grandbabies.
Well,
so.
Well, let's not rush to regular grandbabies.
Exactly.
I say that to my kid. My son's with his girlfriend now, and he's 23, 24. I'm like, I could wait a couple more years. You don't have to rush into this thing. This maybe by the time you're 30, give me 5 or 6 more years.
I think that's a great age.
And then
great age.
I'm more at kind of getting to grandpa ages now, actually. But when I look back at my family, everyone had kids young.
Yeah.
Like my mom had me at 17. My grandmother had my mom at like 19.
Yeah, see, my parents were the other side. My
they
parents
had
were
you
much
old.
older. My mother was 36 and my father was 43 when I was born.
Are you the oldest or youngest?
No, I'm the baby. I have one brother that's 4 years older.
You were the we should try again or the oopsies?
This was it just took a long time.
Okay.
They tried everything too. And this
Too,
was before
okay.
you could that we didn't have
In vitro and all
we
that
didn't
stuff.
have all that. So that was, and in adoption back then, you only really got through adoption if there was a problem.
Okay.
And so you had to go through all these steps to say, well, and then find out there were some issues, but they could get pregnant. They just needed to have some help.
Some steps.
So, so it just was a long time coming, but so it was very different. So, and you have parents that are much older.
Correct.
And a generation gap. My parents were not even boomers. My parents were, my father was born in the 30s.
So what is that? That's like
my father was Depression.
That's like the greatest. The greatest generation. What do they call it? Something like that?
My grandparents were the greatest generation.
Okay.
So if you served in World War II,
that's right.
that's the greatest generation. But my parents were kids during World War II. So
All right. So whatever that was in between it. So
yeah, so they were just pre-boomer.
okay. So walk me through your growing up. I'm very interested in how it was for you, especially out that way in the middle, more of the middle of the state.
It was very. There was some great things about growing up in Arcadia because you really had, the sense of community, the sense of, it takes a village. You knew that people knew your parents, and there was no getting away with anything. I mean, there were, now granted, we didn't have social media, so yes, thank goodness we didn't have social media, in the 80s. I'm so thankful for that. But it was a simpler life. It was very simple life. Growing up, I think I was very sheltered, very naive to certain things. But there's things I wouldn't change about that.
Correct. There's an innocence about it.
Very much. And I still keep in touch with people that I went to school with and I grew up with. One of my best friend growing up, she still lives in Arcadia, and she married.
Really?
She married a guy that also is from Arcadia that I met in preschool.
Wow.
and she and I met in kindergarten, and they're married and they have a wonderful family, and
Nice.
They're still there, and they're teachers.
Okay.
And so to see them doing what they're doing and giving back to the community and the way they do it, it's just amazing. And
That's it.
so I think you learn how important community is when you grow up in such a small town where everybody is connected and knows everybody. But then when you get away from that, you can get lost.
Yeah, and I think that was similar when I even moved to Lakewood Ranch, even though it's a community feel, because it is the largest, community-based, multi-generational community in the country. You have it that it's a small field, but it is a lot of people. And my son came from a school where he had maybe 400 kids in the whole school, to where it's 600 kids in his class, and it was kind of like, whoa, man, what happens
Absolutely.
here? But as he progressed and came in, it shrunk fast because, to your point, everybody seems to know everybody here somehow, some way. It's just everybody's connected. I don't know if it's because of the business side of it, but I feel people are watching.
Yeah.
And people like that. So do you feel growing up in that environment, you kind of have that still just on a larger scale in this area?
Yes. Yeah. Because everything was really rooted in church and community and school and everything. So
Correct.
I think that teaches you, what's important.
Oh, yeah.
And really helps you kind of guides you to have that foundation.
Correct.
And know how important it is to be a mentor or a leader, and what you do affects others, affects your family.
And people see it.
It's on.
You're not hiding.
And now with social media, it's really on everything. So, you want to conduct yourself, you want to carry yourself in a certain way, and I think growing up, maybe we didn't appreciate that until you get a little older, and then you realize what I do has ramifications.
That's it.
And I never want to be a disappointment. I never want to embarrass my family in any way. I can make fun of myself and I can embarrass myself, and that's fine. But I don't want to do that to my parents, my kids, my husband. I don't want to be that. I want to be.
And it's an example.
Yeah, very
Someone
much.
For them to look at.
Absolutely, and say,
and look
okay,
up to.
I'm trying to make a difference, and I want to make a positive difference.
Which I think, just so you know, you're doing a good job. I mean, I see what you do just from the community standpoint. We're going to get into a lot of that stuff as we talk, but you're always moving. You're never sitting still, and you're not just moving to move. You're doing things that make difference and helping, whether it's the Lakewood Ranch Business Alliance or the nonprofits. Salvation Army is one that you're involved in. You're just always doing stuff on the right. So I'm sure your boys, and from what I see and hear about your boys, they turning out really great themselves. So you set a good example. So that's kind of. Well, let me back up. So there's some kids that have great parents that don't turn out as great either. Yeah. So it's just a real blessing when it happens that way, right?
It is.
So that it works. So for those of parents out there that are watching that, I did everything right. My kid, you never know.
You don't know.
But in your case, it worked out just the way that you wanted it to. So
I think it kind of helped that I went from Arcadia. I came over here
So now where over here when you
so
say
I
over
moved
here?
to Bradenton in '94
Okay.
to go to MCC,
So you
which
were
is now
just
SCF.
You were just getting out of high school.
Yeah, I
around there,
graduated in
right?
'94.
So
and then so I
you went to the big city.
I went to the big city. Woo! Yeah, and I kind of stayed in this area. But then I moved to Northport, and I raised my kids in Northport. And
When did you move to Northport? If you were in Bradenton in '94.
1998.
Okay, so
Moved to
4
Northport.
years.
So, yeah, but
Okay.
Northport was still a very small community, and it still is.
Still is small.
It's a large community. I mean, you think the residents. There's over 80,000 residents in Northport.
Yeah.
And my kids had, in their graduating classes, 600 kids.
Okay.
And they're
in
graduating
Northport.
in Northport.
Wow.
There's only one. There's 2 high schools in Northport now, but there's one high school. There's mainly
Great high school too, by the way. Ranks very well in the state of Florida.
But part of that is also that sense of community because it takes a village, and you
were the basketball mom, right?
I am. I am the basketball mom. So yes, I was part of a basketball league for many years. Helped to run that basketball league, Northport Youth Basketball, which is a great organization still going on.
Really?
We have kids that came through that organization that are now running that
Running
organization, and it's amazing to see that.
Well, you made it duplicatable.
And it was great to be part of it. It was great to have my kids, but it taught my kids the importance of giving back. And a lot of kids would see me and know that she sees everything. And I wanted the kids to know it was a safe place. And I know that parents are working. I know parents are struggling. And you want your kids to go to some place where people are watching out for them, even if you can't be there.
That's right.
And if you couldn't be there, you knew that there was going to be a mom there watching out for your kid. And your kid was going to get, hey, if you're doing something wrong, I'm going to tell you you're doing something wrong. But I'm also going to praise you when you do right.
That's right.
And that you had a safe place. And some of those kids are still friends with my kids. One of them lives with my kids. So,
really? Okay,
yeah,
so that's cool.
It's just some of those kids that have come through, and those are still my kids. Those are my boys, my girls. They're all, some of them are now graduating, and I'm going, wow. I mean, I remember when they were just little kids.
Little kids, and now they're adults, and you're like, you're having kids. What's
moving
going
on. And it's, but I'm so proud of them. I'm so proud to see where they've come. But a lot of them are giving back to the community, and they're still doing that. And to know that is continuing. And I hope that some of the stuff that myself and the others that ran the league and that were involved in all this, and the other basketball moms, and that we tried to create
an environment
that they knew, we've got you.
Yeah.
You're safe, you're protected, we've got you.
And they're carrying it out now. So what I found over the years through my journeys, I went to I think 5 or 6 different high schools. I moved around a lot. But I grew up for a large portion in a small town in Northeast Connecticut. And there was this one kid that lived in this town, and he was the planner. Like we used to play what was called like Babe Ruth baseball. And we had all these they weren't organized, but he would organize it. So we had these little football leagues. We had these baseball leagues. You sound a lot like, to me, that you were probably doing that kind of stuff when you were in high school. Like that's how this guy, and to this day, he owns a huge bar where he's got volleyball tournaments. He still continues on to do this stuff and promote. And I could see you as that person growing up in your town, being the one that kind of did things. Whether it was for school, did you do like student government or something?
I did not do student government. I worked a lot when I was in high school.
Okay.
I volunteered at the rodeo.
Okay.
I did. I ushered. I did tickets, like whatever needed to be done. So I was part of a service group when I was a kid.
Okay.
But my parents also taught me that sense of community. And my mother's still at 83 is volunteering at the hospital. She doesn't stop. So that's been ingrained in me.
Ingrained.
My grandparents did that. My grandfather helped, when he retired and moved to Arcadia, it was go help out at the church.
Where did he move from?
So they moved. So my mother is from Massachusetts. They lived in Lowell.
Right.
They lived in Lowell.
They lived in Lowell, the
And then
fire
they
capital of
moved
the world.
Yeah. And then they moved to Miami. And that's where my
Okay.
parents met, where it was in Miami when my mom was in high school.
Man, I forgot about that. And in my notes, because that's right, you have extended family still up there.
Yes, I still have my
up in the 3 decas.
Yeah,
That's
so
like a
in
3-decker.
Tingsboro, in Lowell, up in Nashua, up in New Hampshire. Yeah,
all
so
right in that corridor, so
yep,
right there.
Yep,
you
and
know?
I still have family up there, and they're
And they're still the crazy ones that didn't smarten up like your family.
They would come down.
I'm surprised they
But
didn't like.
they're still part of that community, though, and
They are.
But it's
That's
it's entrenched in everything we do. So it's who we are, and on that side. And
So your grandfather was the risk taker.
Oh, yeah.
Who like packed the bags and he's like, I'm out of here.
Moved to Miami.
Moved down to Miami.
Yeah.
And we have on my galley side of my family, there was one brother out of like 7. Everyone else stayed up in Massachusetts. They all stayed there, and I'm mad that I wasn't born into this other one. But they went to it's not Satellite, right over by Satellite Beach. They kind of planted. I remember seeing all the pictures of them surfing and having fun. I'm like, why the heck do we got to sit here and shovel snow? Why don't you follow these guys down? But he was the path breaker.
There, if that's your community and you're involved in your community, you don't leave.
Well, I was. Yes.
To some people. Some people just don't.
I just don't like the cold.
No.
I was done with, and plus having that year where I lived down here and seeing the lifestyle, because there's a lifestyle that you get here that it's hard to get in most other places, only because of the weather. I mean, our bad months, you can still go outside and do stuff.
Yes.
Like, you're not locked in the house.
And we have this wonderful thing called air conditioning.
That's right.
So it's,
even if you're outside hot, in a pool, you can sit in the pool and it's hot, but you're still in water.
My husband likes to tease me being from Arcadia, and he says, well, you guys didn't have electricity. I'm like, what time did you think I grew up? I mean, he was from Inglewood. I'm like, that was not much better.
No.
He's like, then he said, no, we had the beach. And I said, you guys just thought you were better than us because you had the beach.
Yeah, the trade winds to pull you off a little bit.
But it was the same. We had, and why would you want to? I don't want to live somewhere else other than Florida. I love Florida.
No. And do you find the people that you grew up with, do you find a lot of them stayed in Florida in general? It might not stayed in Arcadia, but
a lot.
Most of them stay here?
A lot stayed in Florida. Some left, but they're not far. I think some moved up into Georgia. There's some that I think are up in Tennessee, but
they want to be like halfbacks. They want a little bit of some seasons or whatever.
A lot of the people that I grew up with are still around here.
I find that a lot. Like most of the people obviously most of the people I talk to that are born and raised here, they're still here because I'm talking to them. But I always ask them the same thing, and I rarely hear them say, "Oh, I just want to get out of here." No. Most people say they love that.
And then you see what's growing here.
Yeah. So you excited about that? Like
I am.
What you see?
I am. I remember this year is 30 years of Lakewood Ranch. Lakewood Ranch has been around for 30 years this year. I remember when it was nothing, when I was driving from Arcadia to come here.
94?
94.
So when it started in 94, was it just kind of where 70 is?
So it started in 70, because 64, the connection to 64 wasn't there yet. You had, because it was nothing.
There was nothing on 64 when I moved here 5 years
Ridge
ago.
was just had just really started out, where you had the acre lots and things like that. But Lakewood Ranch
was Greenbrook and Summerfield.
Yep.
Pretty much, right? Were the two.
Yep. The first house. Yeah, that was when it was first developing, and there was no Publix out there. The closest Publix was
the one by 70, right? By
12 Oaks Plaza. That was, and I worked at that Publix.
Did you really?
Yes, I did. And there was no Lowe's across the street. There was nothing there. It was just
barren
woods,
land,
pastures, nothing.
And it's funny. I still see that. Like I live off of Lorraine, and where I live on Lorraine by 64, there's still some farms with cows and stuff. So you kind of get that feel. But I know it's not going to be long.
Well, you got to think University Parkway. You couldn't you couldn't turn right onto University. You could only turn left, and the only thing you were going to was the airport. If you were on University, there was nothing. It wasn't even University then; it was the county line.
Oh,
because that's what splits the county. One side is Sarasota County, one side is Manatee County. So that's nothing was there.
Well, before we get all into the business side of it, I want you to talk a little bit about your family, like your kids and your dogs, and like the madness that you have. I know your husband's in real estate, but kind of walk us through that journey. So when you moved over to Northport in 98, seems like you started having kids almost right
Yeah.
around that time because
My
your
oldest,
kids are
my oldest,
22, 23.
my oldest has just turned 26.
26.
He was born in 98. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He just turned on Tuesday. He turned 26.
Nice.
So yes,
Congrats.
yeah, that's my oldest. My youngest is 24.
All right. Okay.
But it was, there was nothing in Northport. Not
No.
Northport. It was
What
just
drew
houses.
you there? Was it the deals on the houses? What was the main draw? Did you work in Northport? What was the?
Yeah, well, it was what drew me there was honestly just my friends lived there.
Oh, you had friends there. Okay.
That's how I got there was my friends lived in Northport. I mean, there wasn't, but yes, it was more cost effective to live in Northport.
Yeah,
I mean, it
at
was
the
much
time, I
cheaper.
guess.
I mean, rent, anything. I mean, it didn't matter.
Yeah.
I mean, so I had friends that lived there, and I had just said, well, okay, why am I gonna, keep coming back and forth from Bradenton to Northport to visit them? And it was just
It's just easier, a lot less
Yeah,
of a
so-
drive. Nothing to look at on that drive back then either. I'm sure it was just bare
no it
highway.
it was just highway. It was very boring, but
When did they put 75 in?
75 was there.
I know it's been there for a long time, but it was probably like 70s, right? Then
No.
was it
75 came in early 80s.
early 80s? Okay.
Yeah. Late 70s, early.
Because that was like the Tamiami Trail was the
Yeah,
main route.
most
that
everything was Tamiami Trail. That's how you would go.
And when you had your kids, I don't even know this answer, so I'm not
Okay.
like just prepping it up. So were you working on those years, or were you at home with the kids?
So-
What did that look
So
like?
my oldest is and his father. I did not. I was not working when I had him.
Okay.
Yes. And then my youngest is actually my husband's biological son.
Okay.
That I adopted when he was 7.
Oh, that's
But
awesome.
I was part of his life since he was 8 months old.
Oh, okay. I was
He's-
adopted too when I was
He's
10. So
you can't. Everybody says he looks like me, and I'm going okay.
that's crazy.
Yes, he does. He
That's
does. He
crazy.
looks like me, but he is my baby, and I'd walk through fire for that boy.
That's it. I feel the
just
same
as I
too.
would for my oldest. I mean, they're
It's your
and
family.
they're brothers.
That's it. They're brothers.
That's it.
Through and
You
through.
can't tell them any. You can't. They act alike. They annoy each other.
And they live together now, and they
live
work together.
And they work together. Yeah.
So, I mean, that
they
shows-
still take care of one another.
So when did you meet your husband? How old was your?
So I met my husband in 1990. Sorry, no, 1990. October of 1990 in high
Okay.
school is when I met him.
And okay, then you
We reconnected in 1997 when I was with my ex. He was friends
Okay.
with my ex.
Oh, all right. Wait a minute.
It wasn't
Wait a
like
minute.
that. It wasn't like that. So
No,
I
just kidding.
reconnected, but it just kind of one of those things that we kept connecting,
Yeah.
and then after we had both kind of
Been settled,
settled and
separated.
things had separated, it was let's try this.
Yeah, this seems
And
neat.
like there's something there, and we both wanted the same things in life. We both had the same
Goals
drives
and
and goals, and maybe not the same way to get there,
Okay.
but we just kept connecting, and that was it.
That
And
was
it's
it.
been, we've been together 24 years.
So it got serious in like 2000, 2001.
2000, yeah, 2000, right? Yeah, but
Awesome.
Brandon, yeah, July, my birthday, he made me dinner.
Oh, really? That was it.
Was it? That's all he had to do.
Is he the cook in the house?
Yes.
He
I
is.
hate cooking.
I am the cook in my house.
He
too, so
cooks
I
and
get it.
he is amazing. So
I feel the same way too about my oldest is my stepson, my
Yeah.
wife. I met when we got together. He was just turning 3.
Mhm.
So I get that,
Yeah.
and then, my son was born in 05. So, it's your family.
That's
It is what it is. Like you just
can't
make
tell
the best.
my oldest to my oldest that is his dad.
Oh yeah.
He changed his name legally to his name.
Okay.
When he turned 18, that is his dad. That is everything, and that is to my husband. That
Wow.
is his son.
Good.
That is everything.
That's a
Brandon
testament
is
to your
mine.
son.
I said, it's things happen for a reason, and that's why I look at it. I don't wish ill will on our exes at all, because they wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
Everything we've done has given us the life we have. I wouldn't change it, good,
Yeah.
bad, and different, because I am where I am, and
Yeah.
I have them, and I'm blessed to have that. So no, I'm thankful. and
Yeah, that's
grateful.
great.
So
That's awesome. So when did you guys? You're a pet lover too, so
Oh, God,
So
yeah.
so you
Yeah.
had your boys, and then when did you introduce the animals into the whole?
we've always been dog lovers. We've always
Okay.
been dog lovers, but we didn't. It was just okay, do we really introduce a dog into this crazy mix? And so we had our first dog was a beagle, And I even said to my husband, I'm like, are you crazy with a beagle? Like, they howl.
They howl.
And he's like, oh, but they're great for kids. And I'm like, okay. And that was Chucky. And he was a red beagle and red-haired beagle. And I said, yeah, he was a Chucky because he was very mischievous. And then we started with golden retrievers. That was my husband's favorite dog. Has always been a golden retriever. He loves them.
Is he a hunter?
No.
Okay.
Nope. Oh, he was when he was a kid. I mean, he would go and...
He just the retrievers are probably one of the best family dogs.
They are so loving. And they match, they're very much his personality, just very laid back, very kind of easygoing. You're never going to see my husband at a networking event. You're never going to see him at anything like that because he's like, no. But he's just very laid back, easygoing, and very loyal family pets. And so we had our first golden retriever, Brady. We had him until he was 11. We got Cooper just a month before we lost Brady.
Okay.
Hoping that it would keep Brady young, and unfortunately, golden retrievers are known for cancer.
Oh yeah.
And but we got Cooper, and now we have Macy.
Nice.
She's the first girl we've had.
Really?
And she's very much my husband's dog.
Really?
So
she don't like you as much. She's like
she loves me.
She loves you the way you. No, but I'm saying, but that's her person.
That's her person. Yeah. But it's funny because he said I never could see myself having like a girl dog, but he's like, Funny. It's so different. And Cooper's mine.
Really?
Cooper's
That's interesting.
My boy. Cooper's my boy.
I know it's like that with kids. My daughter is different than my boys because it's just a whole different dynamic. I didn't think it would be the same with animals.
It is. That's his little girl, and she gets so excited to see him.
All right.
I'm like, okay. I'm the mean one. I'm the one that calms her down and be like, nope, settle.
That's good. So let's talk about, because we're going to get into your business, but we're just kind of going right down the line. Let's talk about KBA, your involvement, because you came in, what's really, and for those watching, KBA is Kingdom Business Alliance. It's a networking group of Christian business professionals that support other Christian professionals. And if you're in this area, we'd love to have you come in and see and check us out. We meet at 7:30 on Tuesdays. But really, it was to help other Christian leaders, salespeople, professionals, whether you're doing a service, a product, whatever, and help their businesses out, because if they're tithing to their local churches, it's going to make a bigger impact on our local community, our local churches, as well as expand out. And we go to different churches, so we're not a church-specific church. It's not like you have to be part of this church or that church. I'm not even going to name churches because that doesn't matter to us. It's a body of Christ. And the nice thing about you coming in, I'm going to tell you this because I don't know if I ever shared this with you, but I've been a BNI guy. I don't even like saying those words. I have been. I learned a lot from, as much as it's crazy, their systems and their processes are bulletproof, and that's why they've been around and they're successful. Yes. So there's definitely good qualities in that system. I mean, maybe a little bit overboard, a little legalistic, and we figured that's a type of a process that if we can kind of stay within those guardrails in a sense.
Absolutely.
But at the time when we started, I started this with all people who had never been exposed to this type of environment. And it's very difficult. I promise you that it's very difficult when you have a bunch of type A male and females and you're trying to tell them, no, we have to do it this way. And they don't understand because they don't understand. And it's not anything against, they just haven't been subjected to it like the way that works. And now everybody's on board. But when you came in, it was a breath of fresh air. I'm like, oh, she gets it because she knows exactly. So now I have an ally saying, if this is why we do this, and you'd be like, oh yeah, this is why we do this. So it's not just me saying something like, is that Chris's ego? Is it Chris's ego? They don't know.
It's the accountability side. So like, if anything you do has to have some type of payoff.
Correct.
Whatever that is for you. That could be business related. It can be personally related. It can be something. But what's the accountability? What are you holding yourself accountable to? Are you connecting with those people? Are you doing the parts that you need to do? If you're not, well, why are you here?
That's it. Well, and it wasn't necessarily for the we have the best group, our best our founders, like they do everything. Yeah. But I think from my position of trying to say why we do something that they just, it was foreign, right? It's like most people think, oh, we're going to have a networking group, we're going to have coffee and chill out. But the point of saying, well, let's be really methodical on how we do this, because people can go have coffee with their kids and their wives in the morning
Yeah.
if there's nothing,
Right.
you
Right.
know,
There's-
or the
there's-
husbands, and what is the real value to come and meet on, and should it be in the afternoon? Should it be twice a month? Should it be, you got all these ideas of, why don't we just nix this or nix that? It's like, trust me.
When you show up, people
Right.
know you show up.
And then if you have people come in and they see something that's running so well organized, it's impressive. Especially lately, I mean, we seen when you first started,
Yeah.
we were in the Grove. And the
Yeah.
Grove, we had weeks that we were at 30
Yeah.
plus people at once. We had some really good momentum. Then there was a shift. I think there was a hard shift because we decided, well, we didn't typically just decide. We kind of got forced out of the Grove because they didn't want to show up there at 7 in the morning, open the doors and all that stuff. We were forced to kind of find another location.
Right.
And one of the biggest no-nos, as you know, is to do it at someone's personal business, which we've been blessed with
We've
Connor
been
because
very blessed.
Connor's there every week, or
Yes.
someone's opening that door.
Yes.
Like, that's the fear of when you go somewhere
Right.
like that. That's not like a third party place that someone else is responsible for, or getting paid to open the door.
Right.
Someone would be like, "Hey, I'm not coming in today," and then you're like the whole group. You scramble, and then you do a couple of those
Right.
things, it will fall apart
Exactly.
fast. You can't make. There's no room for error
No.
with these things, right? Because we've tested the time now. We're going on 4 years,
Yes.
which is big for an independent group to stay strong. But through that process that you have been going through the journey with us, we've seen some attrition.
Yep.
Like, I think for the last year and a half, we were seeing our numbers around 15.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the real magic number is, 25 or more. That's like that's where things really start going. And the last probably 2-3 months, we've been seeing over 20.
Well, I think you also
consistently.
see where people have come, because we've had people leave and then come back.
Come
Like
back.
John.
Yeah.
John left and came back because
That's
it's
right.
just what the trajectory that his business took.
Didn't
and
make
that
sense.
happens. And then you
Yeah.
say, okay, well, I have to reevaluate what's going on. And I don't have the time to give. I need to be
Correct.
respectful of that. So I need to step away for a minute. But then when you can reevaluate that and go, I'm missing something, or I have that time now. Where can I put my energy? And you know that this is tried and true, and you know that everybody who comes to our group really wants the best for one another,
Exactly.
as well as each ourselves. We want to put our best foot forward. We want to help one another. We want to help people in their business. And like you always say, you have a board of directors that are free,
That's it.
like to advocate for you.
Yeah.
Well, why wouldn't you want that, right?
Right.
Because when you say, I know a guy, I know somebody who does that. I know oh, you need a mortgage?
Correct.
I know somebody. Oh, you have a financial question? I know somebody. Oh, you need to plan, you need an estate planner? I know somebody.
That's it.
I know somebody. I know people that can help you. And we all come from a good heart that we want to help.
That's
And
it.
I think that's what makes our group even more unique. It's not just about the business.
No.
I want to be a resource and a help to people, and
Correct.
everybody there feels that way.
Yeah.
And you feel it when you walk in.
That's it. I think you get emotional a lot of times, and
do.
I get really impressed because the older I get, I need tissues by. Like, I can see a
God.
commercial, and I'll be like, Julie's like, "Are you what?
Yeah,
What is
no.
going on?" I'm like, "Nothing. These allergies is what's going on. I don't understand." But opening the meetings in prayer
Yeah.
and stuff like that, you don't find that
No.
like in the regular secular world, in a sense, which it's a kind of nice break on a Tuesday, not quite midway through your week, but midway you're with other people that are, again, I'm not perfect. We're human beings, but I'm still
Maybe not
surrounded.
perfect.
I'm
We're
surrounded.
supposed to be perfect, Chris.
My wife will say I am. Julie, I know you're watching, but I mean, I'd rather be around people that are gonna mess up but try to do better.
Exactly.
And that's what I feel like, surrounding ourselves with the people that want to be part of that, making an impact on the community, a positive impact on the community. And you're a big part of not only KBA, but you're one of our leaders in our networking group, but you also are big with the Lakewood Ranch Business Alliance, which I've been a part of and not a part of, and not even by choice, because I love that group. There's just so much
Oh, yeah.
to do here, like
Yes.
different organizations, and it's like, okay, where do I find the time to go from this to every day? You could go to 2 different things a day, literally, if you wanted to. So why do you choose? Let's say this. Answer this 2 questions. Why do you choose KBA, and what made you choose to really plug in and serve for the Lakewood Ranch Business Alliance. So it's a two-part question.
Okay. So KBA, very easy answer is I wasn't sure when I came. I'll be honest. The first time I came, I went, okay. John Rojas had told me about the group. And I went, all right.
Because he was switching gears.
He was moving in and he was starting his lab, and he had been with the bank, and then he's like, hey, come check it out. And it was the feeling I got when I walked in. I was welcomed. Everybody was just so welcoming. And it was not, who are you and what are you doing here? It was,
what do you got for me?
Yeah, it was, oh, God, welcome. And then the fact that you could sit there and say, again, what are you grateful for today? And everybody can talk a little bit in the beginning, and we can open with prayer. And then to know we end in prayer.
Yeah.
And we can ask, and if you need a special prayer for something, you can ask for that. And that we're all there for you. If I'm having a bad day, I can call Shelly. I can say, hey, girl, I need a prayer.
Yeah.
And if I can't even answer the phone, she's leaving me a voicemail, and she's giving me a prayer over voicemail. And I'm just, and to have that. So, but when I joined, it was, what does it do for me? It's filling me up.
Correct.
It's not just about the business for me.
No.
Yes, I get business from it. Yes, it happens because it happens organically, because
Your relationships.
you learn and you grow and you connect with people. But if I am filled here, if I'm filled inside, I'm better
for
every
everyone
day,
else.
and I can go. I can go out into the world and be a better version of me, and that's all I'm trying to do every day. And so I say, never have a bad Tuesday, because how can you have a bad Tuesday when you start with an amazing group?
Yeah, a good prayer. I mean, you got a good verse. You got something. I mean,
and you guys are everywhere, because even when I can't come to KBA, I'm running into you throughout the day.
Somewhere.
Someone from KBA I'm running into. And I said, God puts those people where you need them at that time. And I've said, there's days I'm kind of just spinning and getting through the day.
Yeah.
And I run into Scott. I run into you. I run into Greg. I run into somebody, and it's, okay, I'm paying attention.
Yeah.
So if you don't think that God's talking to you, shut your mouth and just listen for a minute. He's going to make it. He's going to bring it to you, and he's going to show you, I'm trying to tell you something.
Yeah.
Listen.
And a shameless plug for one of the members in KBA. So I know that you, like Connor, because we kind of praising on Connor for letting us use his space and all that stuff. But I mean, my life has drastically changed just by having someone like him in the group with his allergy testing and stuff like that. I had him on the podcast last week, but it's like you have people in the group, and everybody has their own special superpower, if you will, right? And I'm using Connor as an example because it's a health thing for me, but you've used some of his things and changed your life around in the right direction.
Changed my life around.
So I mean, it's so you're not just to your point, it's not just about the business. It's I have trusted people. Like whenever I hear someone say land loan, I just say you have to call Bank OZK. I got the Dirt Diva. Like I'm just trying to find land myself so I can buy some from you.
Hey, Tennessee just opened up for us.
Oh,
so
did
there
it?
you go.
Oh, Tennessee.
There's lots of land in Tennessee.
I want to buy some here though.
I'm just saying. Are
you looking into Tennessee?
We just expanded into Tennessee.
That's nice.
As a company, so
I like Tennessee. Like I have a client right now I'm doing a loan for. She's in buying. It's not Nashville. It's one of the other towns north of it. I can't think of it right. Maybe it's by Chattanooga. I think that's where it is.
Oh,
but I mean, she's right on the lake, with all these mountains and hills. So if you're like a hill person, like anywhere up there is good. So that's good to know, because I think we find now that I'm switching gears back to what we're saying right now. I'm bouncing around a little bit.
That's okay.
But one thing I find that's going to be helpful for you is a lot of people here that live here in Florida like to buy, and whether it's Georgia, Tennessee, and you see some of the Carolinas, because they get a break in the summer,
right,
where they buy some kind of a cabin. I mean, Greg in our group owns 2 cabins in Georgia, but not far. I mean, he's pretty much on the Tennessee line too, because that's right. Or is it Tennessee or the Carolinas?
He's up in Blue Ridge area.
Blue Ridge.
So
is that Tennessee?
Tennessee,
right?
Yeah,
and then
far from Chattanooga.
I have another friend that has kind of by Chattanooga. That's he's one of our fellow Christians. He's in my F3 group, so he's not far from wherever those mountains are.
Yeah, so Ellijay, Blue Ridge, they're all close to each other, and that's
and that's that whole chain right there through in Tennessee.
Yeah.
So that's a big deal. So we got to make sure we get the word out, because there's always people that I know that are looking to. I'll do the mortgages, but I'll let you have the land loans.
There you go. I will take them.
And so that I mean, so tell me a little bit about the Lakewood Ranch Business Alliance. So that's kind of a whole switch.
Yeah, the Business Alliance I've been part of for 7 years, 8 years, almost 8 years now. I've been part of the Business Alliance. When I was with another company, I had one of my colleagues who just introduced me and said, "Hey, there's enough business for us to do this, and would you want to come to a group with me?" And I came, and it wasn't. I didn't. Again, it was the impact. You made these connections with people that were just great connections, and again, it's just the fact that the Business Alliance. I always say we kind of bridge the gap between the two counties because we do. We cover Sarasota
because you cover both. Yeah.
So Sarasota Chamber, Manatee Chamber, they all do great things. We kind of we're the bridge.
You kind of get both of them.
We're the bridge. And I have some wonderful connections that I've made through there. I'm blessed enough to co-chair the membership committee. So I get to be part of. I've been on the membership committee now for 7 years. 7 years I've been on membership.
I feel president coming up pretty soon. Yeah, right. Listen to you saying no.
No. Our chair this year is Dave O, and with Willis Smith Construction, and he's amazing. We've had some wonderful chairs, and when you see what the Alliance has done, and you see how involved they are in the community, from every aspect. I mean, we welcome our county commissioners. We welcome anybody in government. We want them to come and talk and come to our luncheons to speak and to share. We just got to have a breakfast with Senator Boyd.
Okay.
We've been able to meet with Vern Buchanan. So when you have those politicians that you're able to connect and see one-on-one and really hear what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
It's so impactful, and you understand what's happening in the community, and then it just connects the community even more. So, and then my office is in Lakewood Ranch, and
right there.
It's right there in the heart of everything. So to be part of that and to see the growth that's happened in Lakewood Ranch is just amazing. But and I think the Alliance is really on the cusp of all of it. I mean,
their hands are in there. They're
100%.
And I joined that right when I came in. But I think what's important for someone like me, when I first moved here, I think they had an event at the Polo Club.
Yep.
And that's where I think I signed up. I was literally here for maybe a month.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is amazing. And they had some great things. And I think the important piece that I want you to talk about, and what you're talking about now, is for the new people that are moving down here, that are in business, whether they're in sales or they're self-employed or whatnot. What does the Lakewood Ranch Business Alliance bring to the table for that new business, other than just exposure, if you will?
Yeah, it's the true connections.
Okay.
I mean, you're really connecting with people. There's so many different events that you can go to, and you can have from large events to small, intimate events where you can make those genuine connections with people. And so if you think about just kind of how our KBA is, it's the Business Alliance, even as large as we are, run like a small intimate networking group, because we're really trying to connect people with other people that they need to do business with. So when they say, I'm trying to do this with my business, I know people. I know. Let me make this connection for you. Let me help you. Let me introduce you to somebody. You're not going to go to an event and see somebody who's on my membership committee, and they won't engage you. We don't believe in wallflowers at the Alliance.
Yeah, you guys are really proactive.
If you're at an event and you're a wallflower and no one's talking to you, we're going to talk to you. We're going to come up and we're going to say, "How are you?" Especially if it's your first event. We do kind of give you a little tag that tells us that this is your first event. We want you to feel welcome. We want you to be connected with people. If you're just kind of trying us out, see if this fits. And
if you're by yourself, you're not going to want to do it. Getting
sometimes you go because your company tells you to go, and it's not really what you're not that person. You're not a networker. I'm not a natural extrovert. I am an introvert.
Come on.
I really am an introvert.
You're a trained extrovert, I guess.
But I have because it's what do I need to do? And
you do what you have to do.
And how do I connect with people? Because I still want to help people.
You're good at it.
I come from. It's not about me. It's about helping others.
Correct.
And if I think when you come from that aspect, for me, that's okay. I can turn it on and I can do.
It's a universal law.
I can't do it just naturally.
Correct, because the more people you help, you're gonna walk away just fine if you're focusing on that, right?
Fulfilled. It's all about others.
All the other stuff will follow, whether it's income for your business.
Yes.
If you get enough people to get where they need to go, you always end up where you need to go. It's the law.
Yeah. But the Business Alliance does that. And they were the first ones to really welcome me when I came to the Lakewood Ranch area. So they made me feel connected. They made me feel welcomed. And at that time, it was Heather Caston, who was the president and CEO. We have Brittany Lamont now, and she's amazing as well. And she also came from Sarasota Chamber. And Heather went back to the Sarasota Chamber. But Heather got me involved and said, I think you need to look at membership committee. Because I wanted to get more involved. I'm like, I want to do more. And she's like, I think you need to be here. And I've been there ever since.
You just did it. I mean, that's a nice thing. That's a servant heart, because a lot of times when you're, some people, I've served in different capacities where I just serve wherever you need me.
Right.
And you start anywhere. And then you kind of evolve into the next step. And that's you. She said, you're going to do membership, you should do membership committee. You're like, okay, I'll do wherever. She could have said, you're going to do XYZ. You probably would have been like, okay. That's a true servant, like servant's heart. And people know it's genuine. Yeah. It's not that you just do it. And I think the difference here, I'm just saying here, but when you go to a lot of other places around the country, you have, what I would call the old boys club in a sense mentality, where it's like, we don't want to share anything. We keep it all to us. And, you got old people, old money where, and I don't like to just always brag about here, but it's so easy to. There's so many transplants here. And what I found so amazing when I moved down here is how many people want to help me. Yeah. When I went to that Business Alliance the first time I walked in, everyone's like, how can we help you? And I'm from the Northeast, so I'm like, yeah, what's this?
Yeah, you don't
what's
think
this guy's
real.
angle?
There's
something just doesn't add up. No. I'm thinking of my back. But I say that here. I didn't truly, genuinely think that, but it did, like, for a moment.
That's what you're used to. That's what you've been exposed to.
Correct.
It's like you're used to what's in it for me.
Like waiting for the ask. Where's the ask coming? The ask is
and
coming.
Here
it never comes. It's let me help you.
Let me help you. And if helping you, okay, well, did you know that I can help with this? And then you can talk about other things. You get to know that person on a different level. Then you go, whoa, I know that. I know what they do.
Correct.
I need them. I need their services, or that's what I need to call.
Or then somebody. And it actually goes more fluidly. I feel, I'm passing so much business between just people that, not just KBA, but people that I've met in the past over there to do something that may not be in our seats. Just because so many people are coming here, they don't know where to go for nothing, right? So everybody's okay. And how can I help you? Oh, I need this electrician, I need this plumber, I need this. Like, nobody has that list. And I feel between organizations like KBA, even the Chamber. I mean, Chamber is kind of a quasi-government type organization, but definitely Lakewood Ranch Business Alliance is private. It feels like. Is it a private?
We're not a chamber yet. We're not. You have to get to a certain level to be considered a chamber.
Would you want to be a chamber? Is that their goal?
They are working to get to that level.
Would that be Lakewood Ranch Chamber? How?
Yeah, I think that's it. Well, it just is a classification. It would still be the Business Alliance, but to be classified as a chamber,
okay.
You're not classified as a chamber.
Is it a number of people?
The total growth, your total members. And then, like, we have a strategic plan that we've implemented that's to take us into our 20th year of the alliance, and so it's everything.
So it's 20 years. So
it's we'll be the alliances will be celebrating next year. And don't quote me, but it's so. What does that look like for us to get to that level? And it just started with people connecting over coffee.
That's awesome. So tell me about, is there anything, because this will air in June of 2024. Is there anything coming up over the summer that people should know about?
So because this is an election year, normally we do have there will be different events that they'll start posting, and we do we try to do things with Meet the Candidates, and we partner with the other chambers on that as well.
Okay.
So we all work together. So the Business Alliance, I say we, I don't work for the Business Alliance. I volunteer with the Business Alliance. But the Business Alliance, the Manatee Chamber, Sarasota Chamber, they all try to coordinate together and work together.
Which is crazy. That doesn't happen anywhere else, by the way.
No, but this is what's wonderful about Florida. And this is what's wonderful when you have the people who are running those organizations. We have wonderful women that are running these organizations, but Jackie, Heather, and Brittany are just amazing. And they work together and they support one another. And that is not heard of.
That's the normally, DNA here for everything. Even the churches work together where
100%.
Up north, you would never, like where I'm from, you wouldn't see these people collaborating together because it's like, I'm right, this one. You don't see a lot of that. And to even though the Chamber of Commerce is going to, work together with the Lakewood Ranch Business Alliance because they make a better impact.
Look at our local government. We're all trying to work together to make this area better. Everything is trying to, we know what needs to happen, and it does, and it's, again, it goes back to taking a village. It's going to take all of us doing our part, whatever that is. And everybody knows that there's a commonality. It doesn't matter what side of the aisle you sit on.
Yeah.
There's got to be a middle ground, and we've got to find that middle ground and just kind of put our personal feelings aside and say, what's best for the community?
What's best?
And I think the people that we have here now know that.
That's the vision,
and that's the goal. And it's hey, we need to do what's best for our community to help our community. There's needs in our community that we need to do, and they're all looking at that and say, okay,
that's good.
Let's make a difference. Let's move in the right direction. And so when you create that culture, it just continues in every aspect. So, doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. So. We're chopping this big tree down, man. We're doing good, and I'm every next thing we're talking about, I get more excited because now this is more of your heart as a servant leader, is your nonprofit engagement, and I know I only really know of the Salvation Army, but I think there's a couple others that you're involved in. So why don't you? And when I do this, I want people to really understand how they can help some of these organizations when I'm talking to people that are involved in it, because you and I sitting up here telling me, oh yeah, I do this and do that. Okay, yes. What do you do for these organizations? Why did you choose to pick these organizations? Because of their vision and their goals and what they're looking to do. And lastly, how can other people get involved and help in that impact that you're committing to, that you're taking time out of your busy day and volunteering for, along with many others, right? It takes a village again. We can keep saying that, right? For that. So talk about, and I don't want you to put them in the order of how you like them. Just put them in the order of how you want to. Okay. And just kind of walk through some of them. You
talked about Salvation Army. You brought that up. So I'll say I'm the treasurer for the Salvation Army of Manatee County. So I am on the advisory board. And that came about our chair, Chris Williams, who runs Agento. You know Chris Williams.
Yeah.
He's also a member of the Lakewood Ranch Business Alliance. I met him at an Alliance event.
Imagine that.
And that was it. And I've always known about Salvation Army. It was always something that my parents instilled in us, that they do great things. Nothing against any other organizations. All organizations are trying to do great things. But growing up, we always gave to the Salvation Army. My mother still gives to Salvation Army.
I used to get all my clothes from the Salvation Army, believe it or not, so I believe in it.
What people don't realize is, so they think of, Salvation Army is this grand, big organization. Yes. However,
they don't they give all their money out. I think it's like 10% or something.
But there's Salvation Army headquarters.
Yeah.
And as a whole, as the national, but then there's the local. When you give to Salvation Army, just Salvation Army, it doesn't stay necessarily local unless you specify local. So when you give to Salvation Army here in Bradenton, it stays. Those funds stay with us.
Local. Okay.
And we give back here. So every year, people are normally familiar with the kettlebells that are always out at Publix and all the stores, and everybody's ringing the bells. And I've done that a few years now, where I'm out there, my team and I are out there, and we're ringing the bells to try to raise money. All that money stays local.
Local, okay.
So that's so important, because then we're able to do more in our direct community. Salvation Army, there is one in Northport. Unfortunately, the building was destroyed. during Hurricane Ian. It was completely destroyed, and it's been demolished and it's being rebuilt, but it's been a long process. So they were having to go to Venice, is the next closest for them, and people were just giving out. But Salvation Army is just a wonderful organization. We have a shelter here that we have for men, and we have for women and families. We are trying to expand that part, the women and family shelter. And there's some things that we're working on, but there's an immediate need right now to get women and families off of the street. The more I hear, there's other organizations that I've been able to listen to. You don't think about sex trafficking, and you don't think about the things that are happening. You don't say, "Oh, it's right here in Bradenton, Ellenton, in Manatee County." It's everywhere. It's huge here. There are huge areas where people are being targeted, and the more people that we can say get off the street and give them help, and it's not. I always say, there people go, "Oh, you just we don't want the homeless here." Nobody wants homeless anywhere, but you also need to look at if you can give a hand up, not a hand out.
That's right.
So it's really trying to help them get a hand
empower them
and give them the resources. Some of them just don't. Why are they in that
They're
situation?
Stuck.
You don't know someone's story until you walk a mile in their shoes. I mean, you can go back to those things, and it's true. I mean, and I go back to when you read and you say, not to preach or anything, but when God said, what you do to the least of my people is what you do to me.
Yeah.
Well, what are you? If you're turning your back on His people, then you're turning your back on Him. And so, as from a Christian standpoint, what are you? If you don't have a roof over your head, don't judge. Don't judge others. You don't know what they've been through. You don't know their situation. Try to give them the resources to help them. So whether it's financial literacy, whether it's clothes, there's meals. They serve 3 meals a day at Salvation Army.
Okay.
And anybody can go and volunteer to serve at dinner. And if you haven't done it, I highly recommend people do it.
Well, you're going to give me that information because I would love to go with my son while he's home and things like that.
And it's when you see the people and you see. I will tell you, the last time I did it, we had a father come in with 2 little, very young children, and he could have had 3 plates. He took 2, one for him and one for the kids to share because they're very young. And he said, no, because it can give to someone else. Yeah. So when you see people who have nothing giving to others,
wow,
what a humbling experience. Yeah, and you say, that touches your heart.
Yeah.
So yes, I get emotional. Yes, I get because it's such an impact. Yeah. So anything I can do for the Salvation Army in any way I can support them, I'll be the first to raise my hand because they are trying to make a better life for people and a better impact on this community. Yeah. And we have some wonderful supporters in the county, some supporters in the city. So it's just trying to get to where we need to help that immediate need now. Right. And there's such an immediate need. So we are actively looking for ways that we can expand the family shelter.
Okay.
So we're
the family shelter here in Bradenton.
Here in Bradenton. Okay. If we can, we have a facility that we own on our property that we've raised funds to be able to just take care of that immediate need. Well, there's some things that are in the works and hopefully that could come to fruition with other organizations, but. Right now, we have to turn away women every night. We don't have room.
Wow.
And that's
scary.
That's heartbreaking. So when nobody wants people camping out, and we understand
summer months and the heat.
We don't want them, and we don't. And I understand that. And in certain areas, they sit out. Where are they going to go? They have no places to go. Now, some don't want help, and I understand that.
There's pride that comes with
there's some people that say, I just don't want to be told what to do. Okay, well, then that's not what this is.
It's not for them.
That's not for them.
Yeah.
But there's those that just go, I don't know what to do.
I don't even know where to start.
Yes.
I'm lost.
But why, and how do we help them get there? So we have resources, we have programs. So that's Salvation Army. And again, we have wonderful people that are on the board and people that work for the Army. Our majors are amazing. And it's always going to be an organization that no matter where I go in my life, that's going to be part of
to be your staple. And I think I did some research on them years ago, and I believe that they're one of the, for a big organization, like a national brand, they push out almost all the money back into the charity. They don't like, there's some that take 60 cents. They take 40 cents on the dollar to run their operations, and only 60 cents on every dollar you give is going to the cause, if you will, but not with the Salvation Army. It's like they give almost everything back to the thing. So that's a great organization.
They're the first to show up whenever there's a need.
And I wasn't joking when I said, when I was a kid, I grew up we were poor, and that would be where I would go Catholic charities for my Christmas presents, and I'd go to
Salvation Army does Angel Tree every year, so that's always the Angel Tree. But we do,
That's why I like to give back. Yeah. That's why, because I'm in a place where I imagined I would be, but I knew that I can make a difference for the little kids like that, like me, right? That didn't have much and all that stuff. So it's big. Like minded people do the same thing.
That's the one main thing that I do, but for nonprofit. But I also am part of National Exchange Club.
Okay.
National Exchange Club is a service organization that they are. It's a 3-part. So we have where we fight child abuse prevention is our main focus. Americanism, veterans. It's all about giving back to the community. We do service projects every month. So I am the president of our Manatee River Business Exchange. Okay. So I run that every week.
Was there like a website people can go check that out?
So and we have a Facebook page. If you go to Manatee River Business Exchange,
Manatee River Business Exchange.
Yep, and anybody who wants to give back to the community, we encourage. If you have, we do run as a business networking, but then there's also one we have a Sarasota club as well, and then we have one that we're starting in Venice. So all in this area, and we're Division 8. And then my sons. Are founding and starting the Seminole County Exchange Club.
Awesome.
So I'm so thankful and so proud of them because they were looking at ways to give back, and this came up that they were looking to start a club in the Lake Mary area in Seminole County, and I reached out to them, and they're starting it. They're running it. They're trying to grow.
What a lesson for them at a young age to start.
Yeah, and it's just amazing to see what they're doing. And tomorrow I actually we have convention going on right now for in Vero Beach, and I'll be driving over tomorrow morning to Vero Beach, and we have a gentleman, young kid. We give a scholarship out every year to high school kids. So, and they write an essay, and it's a speech contest, and it's about Americanism.
Okay.
And so we have a gentleman who competed and won at our local level, and now he's competing at the state level.
Okay.
And so we'll go over there. I'm going over there, and we're going to support him. And
that's awesome.
Because then he gets a scholarship from us, but also from the state if he wins.
Okay.
And out of 9 years that we've had a winner, we've had 7 win at the state level in our area.
Really?
So yes. So
that's a big. That's cool.
So we'll be supporting.
And it's a big state.
And he's going off to college, and college, and it's just it's a scholarship for them to use however they need to use it. It's
Correct.
not you have to use it towards this at school or that. No,
there's a lot of needs, whether it's housing or food, or books or whatever.
We've had kids go through. You have one in college. I
have one out. I got one in, and I just had the long conversation with him about money, and then I have one that will be going at some point.
And it's expensive. It is expensive. Crazy. So it's any support we can help them, and they're our future. So I do that. What else do I do? I do a lot.
You do a lot. I'm like tired thinking about all you do every day, like with all the different.
I run another just a little local networking group that meets on Thursdays. It's just a free networking group that meets on Thursdays. I'm involved in that. But anything I've given back to CEF. I've been part of CEF Reach Night, participated in that. So and the wonderful things that they're doing. They're a great organization. I think that they're trying to spread the gospel in schools is amazing.
Huge deal.
The fact that the schools allow us to do that is huge.
Here,
I
was amazed by that. I mean. For those of you watching, CEF is an organization that has an after-school program for kids to learn more about God, which is crazy.
And it's free to them. Yeah.
Free to them, and they meet every week. My daughter's part of it at her school, and there's a lot of kids. pleasantly surprised at how many kids are involved in it.
Yeah.
But I want to, before we wrap this up, we have to talk about the main thing.
Yeah.
Right?
What's my real job?
The real job, the Dirt
pays me.
Diva, right? So it's not only that. We joke about that, and I'm going to just hit this thing because we are like rocking and rolling right on time here. That way we can wrap it up and finish. But this is the important part because you are the business development person for the bank. You are. The one thing I like about Bank OZK, because I am also a client of Bank OZK.
I didn't tell you that. I didn't say that. You said it.
She didn't say it, but I am. It feels like your old-fashioned bank where you can actually get somebody on the phone to service you. If I need you, AnneMarie, I just call you. I even have your cell phone, so I can just say, AnneMarie, I need some help with this, or I can't do this or this. Okay, let me help you. You don't find that in the banking business like it used to be, and it goes a far way. And I think that's one aspect where you guys are crushing it. Your land loans here are very strong.
Yes.
You guys do a really great job. I mean, again, you have some business that you can't do that you send me because right now, currently, I guess I should say, I don't want to wreck Bank OZK because they may do mortgages at some point, but right now you're not doing them. So I appreciate the business that you slide over to us to serve some of your clients that you can't serve. But talk about your white glove service, your platinum concierge service that you offer there at Bank OZK. And
so the thing I think sets us apart, and especially my office, we pride ourselves on our level of service that I mean, all of our offices do, and the bank in general, we pride ourselves on the level of service. But we're given the autonomy to meet the needs of our clients at their level. What does that look like? Do I need to go to you? Do I need to come to you? I mean, we have clients that they're like, I need to get this in. What can I do? How can I help you? We're going to try and find a solution for you. We're going to find that. I have gone to clients and they're like, I have this check. I can't deposit it mobily because there's limits, there's limitations, there's, with fraud and all that. What do you need? Okay. Do you need me to come by and pick it up? I can do that for you.
That's unbelievable.
And what does that look like? All right, I'm on my way. Where are you? Do I need to meet you to sign documents? What do I need to do for you? I mean, we have DocuSign, we have that. Sometimes technology is great. If you have connection, we know in Lakewood Ranch, there's issues with connectivity and cell signals and things like that. We all know that. But so let's make that available to you. What do you need? Do you need me to come to you? Can you come to us? What's the best way for us to do this? And you get my number. You get my cell number.
Right.
I mean, it's important for us to be available, and it's important, I think, to also know how your clients want to communicate.
Correct.
I tell people this all the time. There's if your banker doesn't know how you prefer to communicate, you need to think about that. I'm never going to tell you you're with the right bank, the wrong bank. I'm never going to tell you we're the best for everybody. We don't do everything for everyone.
Yeah.
But we try to educate and we try to give you the resources. If I'm not that right fit, I'm going to tell you who might be. Okay. And I've done that for people because there are things that we just don't do. That we don't have an appetite for. That's not a wheelhouse for us right now. Maybe that might change in the future, but at this time, maybe that's not what we're doing. And I look at it and go, well, who's doing it better, and what do you really need, and is that the best for you? Because I know if I do what's right by you, you're going to remember that. You're going to say,
might send a family member or someone else.
I need.
It comes back.
It comes back. They talk to us, and we just try to educate. We always come from a level of what are you really looking for? Let's really understand the immediate need. Where does that need to take you, and how can we help you get there? Whether it's today, tomorrow, 3 years from now, what's
with
that
us
plan
or without us?
Right? What's that plan going to be? So, that's the difference for us. And with a lot of the businesses that are coming, we have so many new businesses here.
Yeah.
But we also have businesses that are remote businesses. People are working from home, and you don't know about them. Yeah. And then they go, well, I need help with this, but I don't know where to start. Okay, well, how can we help?
Yeah,
how can we help?
Come in here? Do I come to you?
Right. What do you need? And that's what we do. So you do get the phone calls. You call my branch. You're talking to my team.
Yeah.
And it's important that when you my team. Everybody at my team, and they want to know who our clients are. We take the time and the pride to say, if we've never met you, I've not met you before, and this is who I am and this is what I do, and we take from everybody, from Mary Beth
Right.
to Elena to Mary. You want to know everybody in the office, because if I'm not there, I need you to know who you can call and
you
talk
can
to,
call.
because these are my right hands. What, they're going to help me. And
Yeah.
I'll just talk about you and Julie. Julie knows Elena. If she
Oh,
needs
yeah.
something, she calls Elena, and
Yeah, she
Elena
does.
takes care of her.
She does.
And I am so thankful to have Elena and Mary Beth as my bankers to do the things
that.
that I can't do every day. So,
And what about those chocolate chip cookies or something?
oh yes, every Friday
Those
you gotta
hot-
come.
those hot chocolate
the
chip
hot
cookies.
chocolate chip cookies, the Otis Spunkmeyer cookies that we make
Yeah.
fresh.
That's pretty.
Yes.
I mean, for that reason alone,
Yeah, every Friday
that
you
might
gotta
be the
come
only
in.
reason I bank with you guys.
We even pass them out through the drive-through.
It is pretty cool. So,
But no,
what's your best part of what you love about what you do? Like at the bank, like the specific, is it the land loans? Is it the business development, bringing in new businesses and bringing in new accounts? What do you think?
The thing I love the most is helping people when they're getting started, whether that's on the personal side, on their first account, if it's a child, and we're helping them like with their first savings, their first checking. We're educating those people. It's the whole education piece for us, for me especially. It's whether it's the consumer side all the way to the business side. How are we, what are we helping? We're helping every phase of your life.
Okay.
So
you're more of a consultant in a sense.
100%. And
holding
I
their
love that we get to do that, and that our company empowers us to do that.
All right.
So,
well, I'm going to summarize this because we went pretty good.
Yeah.
Like it went by too quick. I think we're over an hour anyway, so we did great. I could probably stay there for another hour. But you watching may not have another hour, so we'll wrap it up. Is there any last minute things, like how can people contact you? You're in the Lakewood Ranch office. Is there something you want to share with?
So you can always email me.
Okay.
My email is AnneMarie.Graff@OZK, and it's Graff with 2 Fs.
2 Fs. Graff.
And then my phone number is 941-248-8200.
Okay. And
So-
if people need to open
And
up
that's
new
my cell.
accounts,
They can call me right on my
that's
cell.
it. I mean, you don't get that anymore. People giving
No.
up. And it's not like the bat phone cell.
You
It's
can
like
text, too.
Your actual
Yeah.
cell phone.
If I can't answer, text me and say, hey, give me a call, and
That's
this
it.
is who this is, and I was told to call you. That's great. Sometimes I'm here.
It
I'm
is
not
what it
answering
is.
my phone. So
Well, do you have any other last parting words before I close this up?
I just think for people, get involved in the community. We have a great community here.
We do.
We have great organizations around here. One I didn't say was Parenting Matters. Very close to my heart. It's child abuse prevention. They do parenting education free to anyone in Manatee County and Sarasota County. They have two locations. They cover both counties, so it's a free service. There's so much here for us to be able to support. So just get involved.
Plug in somewhere, right?
Get involved, and it'll pay off in spades.
That's
promise.
right.
I
And in
promise.
whatever way, whether
Yes.
it's just emotionally,
Right.
maybe
It
financially,
makes you better.
but it doesn't matter. It's just you're giving. There's more to give than when
Absolutely.
you're getting anyway.
Yes.
So I always know that.
Yes.
So
Connect.
thank you for watching us at Mortgage Matters with the Gali Lama. That's so silly, but I love it.
Awesome.
If you have an idea, we want you to make sure, reach out to AnneMarie, look them up at the Lakewood Ranch Bank OZK office. Look us up if you're looking for a home loan. We handle anything from investor loans, refinance, purchases. We have 100% programs right down to debt service coverage loans. We'd love to serve you. And if you are a business leader here in our market or even abroad, I'm going to actually have the opportunities coming soon to bring on guests from outside. But if you are local here to Southwest Florida, we'd love, and you have something to share with some good content that can help people, we'd love to hear about it and see if you'd be a great fit for the podcast. We're reaching out to thousands now, but please like the YouTube channel, follow us on the Facebook and the Twitter, the LinkedIn, the
Everything.
TikTok, the Instagram, all of them. We're on all of them. So we'd love for you to connect. Please share if there's something here that you like. And thanks, AnneMarie, for coming out.
Thanks,
I
Chris.
really
I
loved our
appreciate
time
you.
together.
Yes.
And now it already sounds like we have to set up another one at some point because we missed some stuff. So
Yeah.
that we'll have
see,
more.
We'll see what happens, as the year goes on.
Yeah,
More
excellent.
stuff happening.
There's always stuff happening. So again, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next time.